All right. Testing 1 2 1 2. Let's see if everyone can hear me. Rich, how are you doing?
Mo, great. How are you?
I couldn't complain except for the weather, but don't we all complain?
Good to hear from you. All
Likewise.
right.
Wow. Almost feels like it's been forever.
Hey, what time we got? Right. I've got 4 o'clock on my side. So I'm ready when you are. Do you want me to start?
Yes, sir. You take the lead and
Good.
then jump in, and then we can go back and forth.
Yeah, perfect. Good. So look, I see people still joining as we go. So I just want to start off with something while we're waiting for the last people to join. And um, from my side, it's just to make sure everyone's really vigilant. I guess you can see what's happening with the group. We've expanded and we've grown, and especially as we go through these periods of growth, one thing we definitely do notice is an influx of those opportunists, people coming in trying to take people astray and invite people into these spam groups. So all I'm asking is that everyone collectively shows a bit of resilience and obviously identifies any of the fake taboo groups. It's so unfortunate to see, but I think it's a given. It's part of a project of this size and of this nature. There's always going to be somebody out there who's going to try and steal your hard-earned cash. So please be extra vigilant. Myself and the rest of the mods, I'm not sure if everyone's aware of how much work goes into clearing out those that join the groups, and trying to keep people safe, going on a periodic basis, on a daily basis, and deleting, reporting the scam groups as well. So do your best. Make sure we're aware of anything that's going on out there, and let's look after each other. It's really important that as a collective that we come together and just protect everybody's financial investments as the project grows. I've seen this before. You get more eyes on a project like this, and the next thing you know is people are popping up left, right, and centre, doing their best to get their hands on your money. So be safe, be vigilant. Just did a little bit of a roundup. I was looking on CoinMarketCap and looking at the 1st of April through to today's date. And again, sometimes I'm not a big fan of looking backwards. I think we can take learnings from the past, but I'm certainly the kind of person that always looks to the future. But when you do take stock and recap, you sometimes miss things. You realise how far things have really moved within just 1 month. And the price on the 1st of April was 0.0014 cents. And as of today, 0.005. My maths is not that great. I've got a calculator here, but that's we've doubled in price there. And there's been lots of great announcements. We'll go and give a bit of a recap in terms of what's happened throughout the month of April. But again, if you're just talking about price action, talking about how the prices move forwards, that's a colossal amount of growth. When, let's be honest, the rest of the market's done absolutely nothing. There's been a huge amount of ranging through a lot of the other the tokens and the crypto sector as a whole, and yet we continue to grow, we continue to thrive, and we continue to push forward. So on price action alone, really, really positive for the month of April, and it's just an indication of where things are going.
Oh,
Somebody else
definitely.
said, go on, Mo, sorry.
Yeah, definitely it is. I mean, that's a nice perspective to put into a narrative. It's only been 30 days in April, and when you look back on the 1st of April and where we are now, there's so much that's happened and there's so much that's coming. So I'll let you continue, and then I'll jump in as we share and recap April and what's to be expected in the next few weeks and months.
That's perfect. And someone, thanks, I can't remember who it was, but somebody's just posted up as well, again, where we're ranking. Anyone who's familiar with this group will remember it was only a few weeks ago we were talking about breaking into the top 500. And I think it was a matter of 2 weeks ago. Already we've wildly surpassed top 500. Again, if you go online right now, you'll have a look, you'll see what the rank is, 388. We are, we're scaling the ranks. We're moving forward. And again, I think there's there's more eyes on us. People are getting familiar with the name Taboo. So as you're seeing, more times than not, we're ranking up there, we're trending up there, and the goal and the plan, from what I've understood and the way it's always been communicated to me, was this has to become a household name. Yes, there's lots of things that are happening today, but we're only just starting, and the whole idea of this whole this whole project, this whole innovation, is really to make sure that the name Taboo is discussed around the table, that it's shared with friends and family. It's not something that's hidden away in the depths of somebody's wallet, but it's something that people can associate with, and something that people find familiar. By ranking over and getting over the 400, now at 388, it's happening. It just shows you what's happening out there, and the fact that people are understanding what this project's about and where we're going. So again, a great improvement. I can't remember where we were on the 1st of April, but I'm assuming it was somewhere in rank 600 or 700. So again, a colossal amount of growth on the ranking.
Yeah, I think we were at about 650, 660 around the 1st of April.
Brilliant. Really good.
Yep, and I think it's wow. Again, I just come back every time and I'm like, wow, where did the time go? Right? It's unbelievable how quickly we scale and the trajectory that we are headed towards. I think there's a lot of things to cover here. Starting all the way from almost like, so first of all, thanks, James, for the introduction and getting things started and into motion. I apologize for everyone on behalf of James that he could not be here, as most of you are aware that he has just had a baby boy, and congratulations to him for that. So being a new father is pretty much a full-time job by itself, while he manages and finalizes the biggest deal in the history of Taboo in the background. Just circling to that, and I think that's really important to address over here and kick things off with, is the ex-JP Morgan executives deal. There's been quite a bit of speculation in the group. As you can see and know that I don't really participate in a lot of speculative talks, just for the simple fact that I believe without us or anyone having the right information, we cannot make judgments or jump to conclusions, as I think it's unfair, not just for the person, but for the project itself, the team behind it, and everyone invested. What I can share confidently is this, that the deal will be signed before the end of this week, and all details pertaining to that will be shared with the community. And the biggest information that I do have on hand is that with this investment, Taboo's valuation will get to about $250 million.
It's not a small amount of money, is it?
No, it isn't.
And I think it just shows that, I mean, I'm not going to pretend I know how these deals come around, or the intricacies of them. It's certainly beyond my pay grade. But anyone who's going to be looking at pumping this amount of money into Taboo has clearly sat down and done the most due diligence. They must have teams of people looking into what the economic forecasts are of something like this. They must be looking at what the pros and cons are, what the risks are, and what the rewards are. And the fact that someone's come out of that process and has gone, you know what, there's the money on the line, we're into it, we're ready to sign. I mean, that should give everybody a huge amount of confidence. For those who maybe don't have the time to sit down and do that level of analysis, or maybe have the resources and the teams of people to sit there rooting through those numbers, drawing everything out, and coming out with that sort of forecast. So that personally, that gives me the confidence to go, right, I know where this is going, even though it's not I'm not coming in with the 8 figures, but I can see the fact that it's something's going on in the background. People know what's happening, right?
100%. I mean, it's again, making deals and agreements with VCs is a piece of cake when it comes to Web3, right? They're there by the dozen. So it does not really take much due diligence, paperwork, uh, bookkeeping, and financials. When you look at traditional financial instruments, um, extending their interest and then taking that leap to make that decision, that's something that does not just happen overnight. This has been in the works, I don't know for how long, and it's finally made it to the surface, and we're almost there. Um,
Yeah.
so this is really something monumental, not just for Taboo, but for any project on the blockchain and Web3. As if you look at it across the board, there's very little or almost no presence of traditional finance coming into Web3 just for the sole sake of the project itself.
Yeah, and this is testament to the kind of connections that James has. James has spoken for in the past about his history when it comes to in the business world, and he's rubbed shoulders with some incredibly influential people. He's not a small fish in this sector, this industry, and he's got the ears and the attention of some very interesting investors clearly. So again, once this deal's been struck and negotiated, it does lead to the question, what's happening next? Who else? Maybe the JP Morgan types are going to be the first to jump in. Others are going to follow, right? People are going to see what's happening. People are going to see what's going on out there. They're going to see that someone else is putting the money down on the line, and inevitably FOMO is going to lead to the rest. So it's
100%. It's just like the token holders here. Most of the token holders here are OGs. They're the first movers, and this is a testament to them and a guarantee and an assurance by the next one and the influx that's going to happen. It's not going to happen in a scale of 2 years. It's going to happen within weeks. That there's going to be such a huge positive influx of interest, holders, audience, followers, including criticism, including spammers, because they will do their best to ensure in their own way that they can almost destabilize our roots or our foundation. And this is where the community really stands strong, right? You can look at across the board, even to different DAOs and DeFi platforms, which have communities, and they do not have so much trust, transparency, and unity as we do as Taboo Ligands.
Absolutely. And I know you're going to give a bit of a recap and talk about the month of April. I just wanted to jump in. I've been working with Nadeem pretty closely over the last couple of days, or even over the last week or so. We're aware there's been a couple of issues when it comes to the unstaking of tokens. The message that Nadeem's given me and wanted to pass on was that any issues of that nature, whilst they've been reported, it's not going to affect anybody's ability to unstake. If somebody put in a report and actually, my lockup date ended here, it's now been surpassed, of course we're going to honor that. We're here to look after and support the investors, and we are not in the nature or not in the habit of trying to just hold on to people's funds. That is not what we're in business for. We're here to make sure everyone gets the support they need. That being said, there is a little bit that we're going through without going into the exact details, because I said to Nadeem, I'd probably end up getting it wrong. He's written me up a little statement, so I'll post it out afterwards. But it's to do with the date. So when it says the lockup date, what we found is that the actual date is in some cases 24 hours after what's recorded, or sorry, what is presented, shall we say, as the lockup date. And as people are trying to unlock the tokens, in theory, 24 hours before, in terms of what the system's seeing, it's causing a few issues. And then people are not trying it once; they're going over and over and over again, and it's causing a bit of a headache. Nadeem's aware of it. He knows what the solution is. He's working through the solution for that. And like I said, rest assured, anyone who's come to me directly or indirectly, with any staking issues, we're working our way through those. I'm back at my desk full time tomorrow, and I've put a bit of a report together, including a spreadsheet of anything that's been reported to me, and we're going through those. We're not turning our back on you. We're not ignoring you. Please, if you've put anything into us, we're working on it. Please just be patient with us.
Thanks for bringing that to attention, Rich. Really means a lot. I do know that there have been one-off cases regarding unstaking, so it's really good to clarify this right at the beginning of the conversation.
Perfect. Okay, shall we do a bit of a summary? Is that a pretty good place to start?
I believe so. Let's go ahead. Let's do this.
So there's a few things I wrote down, and again, just taking stock, looking backwards, sometimes you realise what can happen in a short amount of time. You know, you've already alluded to the JP Morgan deal, which, as we know, this week all of the further details are coming out. You know, we've already mentioned it's so hard. As much as everybody would love to, jump up and down, and scream about the intricacies of those deals, it's not possible. In fact, what it actually does is jeopardise some of the potentials. And we want to make sure we get things right as well. So as soon as that's been signed and it's all over, then we'll start making sure that our communities are the first to hear about it before anybody else does. Billboards, though, the billboards are coming this time next week. So if we were to speak this time next week, there'd be a lovely full-size billboard up there showing the best that Taboo has to offer. I mentioned earlier, I was around when, in fact, I think I might have just joined this community when the first billboard was launched, or it may have been just slightly before. And I remember looking at that going, this is the real deal. Like, any sort of an organization that's going to pay for that kind of space and that kind of investment, they mean business. They're not just going to, again, hide in the depths of the internet, but they're out there for everybody to see. And what I love about this campaign is the fact that it, as I mentioned, it puts eyes on the project that wouldn't necessarily see it. For those who are not familiar with maybe Telegram or Discord, or those who don't live in the world of crypto, they're gonna be interested. They're gonna see things on that billboard and go, all right, what's this about? And the old URL again, it's just cumbersome. It was like a .community website, and there's so many opportunities to misspell it, or especially as you're driving by, although slowly. Now we've got the taboo.io domain. It's going to draw more attention than last time. It was a big deal last time. It brought new people to us, and no doubt this time around it's going to go even further.
Oh, definitely. And on the billboard, just want to circle back and kind of share a bit of alpha around that. It's by saying Malibu's the first one. Keep an eye out. We will announce this in due time, but this year the campaign's going to be bigger and better than the one in 2021. And 2021 did really bring in a lot of traffic, attention, new holders, more interest in Taboo. And going back on this in a more strategic manner, with the right PR going out, with the right audience, collaborations, onboarding of new models, this is just going to be, I think, generally believing the biggest year for Taboo.
Yeah, it's just another dynamic, isn't it? It just opens up other opportunities, and it's very exciting. I'd love to do some sort of competition. By the way, this is not me announcing a competition, but I'd love to do something where, if anyone's in these areas, we've got a worldwide community. If anyone, is out there in Malibu or in any other cities that are going to soon receive, a billboard in their area, go and get a photo with it. Go and share the love. I remember last time one of the guys was, I think he paid an Uber driver to go and do a journey and take a photo. And it was just brilliant. Again, it just brings it to life. It just shows that it's not something that's just posted on a Telegram channel, but it's out there for the world to be able to see. So that would be a really exciting one. Exchanges. I can see someone out there asking about oh, there you go. Any news about the next exchanges? Just again,
sorry,
I was just doing a bit of a recap on where we were, and again, just so people don't forget, April was a huge month for us in terms of releasing exchanges. Both BKEX and MEXC were both taken on board and signed. And again, they're not small boys. These are some of the bigger known exchanges that are out there. And again, I was just looking at how some of the volume that's going through some of these exchanges. It's huge. Our price bot, although he does a great job just picking up on what's happening on Pancake, there's so much more activity that's happening there. So if you ever want to go and just have a look, see the volumes that's going through some of those other exchanges, especially the new ones, again, it's just testament to a lot of hard work. Those things don't come around by chance. There's various different levels of investment that's required. there's due diligence that's required, and that's to have two of those big signings, completed within the month of April is a huge milestone. Once again, it's so easy to look back or not to look back, sorry, and just to forget that that's been achieved. That's huge. That's colossal. I believe there's something more to come.
Yes, that's right. We have our next exchange that is going to be confirmed before the end of this week as well. So that's a
Brilliant.
big one to look forward to. Again, as you mentioned it rightly, a process of listing the token on the exchange, really going through our due diligence, understanding if it's the right exchange, if they are the right one for our audience, for our stakeholders, the ones that are existing and the new ones, is really important. It's not, we get bombarded by proposals almost every day. Everything from exchanges to collaborations to partnerships to marketing and so on. And I circle back to that in every AMA by saying we're very selective on who we work with, why we work with them, and how we see that partnership and collaboration evolving. As any of those decisions made in haste or too quickly or without really analyzing the pros and the cons jeopardizes Taboo as a whole.
Yeah, and I don't think people's feel sometimes like people trying to put us under pressure or trying to front load the news, but I understand why. It's I don't take that as a criticism from people, or sometimes I don't want to say I admire their impatience, but I understand why people are going that way. They understand the value of it. If they actually didn't care, then and didn't ask about it, I'd probably be more worried. So the fact that there's a lot of people are pushing and waiting and hoping and speculating about the new exchanges, I think that's quite healthy, as long as it doesn't go too far and people end up sounding like a bit of a broken record. That's absolutely fine. But look, I've got no issue in people asking when it's coming. I think that's quite healthy and quite positive. Just because it's not discussed for 30 minutes in the chat doesn't mean we've all forgotten about it and we've moved on to the next thing, right?
Exactly. Well said.
I know Daniel was asking about a QR code. Do you know what, Daniel? I've got it on my list, and I will come back to you. I'll send you a message. I know we've been speaking anyway, but I'll just find out the details and if there's a QR code on that next billboard or something that's a bit of a call to action. Obviously, the website is going to be prominent and displayed in a very obvious way, so people will know exactly how to find us. But I do like the idea of a QR code. I don't have the answer for you, but I will come back to you shortly on that one.
We have discussed the idea of putting a QR code on the billboard. I think the one that's going up in Malibu might not have it, but the future ones will. So yes, there is already that planned into the next strategic as well.
Perfect. What else we got there? Information on the total supply. So white paper says 47.5% burn. That is correct. Yep. Application gonna be, don't know, I'm not too sure what that means. The new site and new staking site. So there's a bit of an overhaul going on the marketplace and the website as a whole. I don't have any firm timelines for you. I know it's a process.
So on Rich, on that, that's another good point that I wanted to touch on today, is that we're going for a full revamp of the website, the UX, the UI, the marketplace, and that's going to take a few weeks to deliver. However, that will literally put Taboo ahead of the curve once done. So expect seamless UX, seamless UI, more content. As you know, that we've just onboarded another model for Taboo. We're going to be running photo shoots in Tulum this month. So, and over there, we're gonna potentially be onboarding more new faces and talent onto Taboo network, onto Taboo models. So that's going to be something really big to look forward to, and that will lead us to launch the new marketplace and the new website with the right content and better, really seamless, really elegant, innovative space. As you know, we have also in the month of April partnered with Uniramp whereby making Taboo easier to off-ramp clients, meaning users can buy Taboo now with their credit card. What we're looking for next is by integrating an off-ramp and on-ramp service onto Taboo itself, meaning that as soon as you log on to the Taboo website, you can buy Taboo with your credit card right there and then.
Brilliant. I hadn't written that one down. Again, it just shows, yeah, I'd forgotten about that. And the problem is when I think a lot of development and a lot of new information is released all at once, it does become easy to to sometimes forget some of those things. That's a huge positive. Again, this makes it not just somebody who's going to be who's in touch with an exchange, who's got their crypto on exchange. This now opens up a whole new market to us and makes Taboo more accessible to the masses. So yeah, huge work on that. Well done. New ranking of the new exchange. Hold fire. We'll let you know. It's not a small one. We're done with the days of smaller exchanges. I'm sure it'll be very well received. And yeah, as we know, the rankings of these exchanges do fluctuate quite a lot, and depending on where you're looking. So it's it's not a small exchange. It's something that's you'll all be very pleased when you see the announcement on that one. And partnerships with YouTube. I guess as Mo said there, so many contacts. I don't know how many of you are part of our Discord group, but it's almost endless. People are constantly approaching us through Discord and through Telegram with propositions. It's almost sometimes quite hard to be able to figure out who's actually serious and who has got a genuine opportunity to collaborate with, because like the scam groups, it's so they're devious, they're clever, they know what they're doing. So a lot of time goes into trying to sort out the wheat from the chaff and understand who is actually got something to offer. A few of those conversations have gone a little bit down the road, but then it just hasn't been the right thing to do. Sometimes they just want way too much money. They obviously think a huge amount of themselves. But I think the next stage is going to be down the line, and there's no set date on this, is to really start approaching the people we want to be working with, understanding who it is that's going to that could do that. But I think it's a good addition to what we're doing, but I don't think that's not the main thing at the moment for us. I feel like we can build enough of an organic presence and footprint, and I'd actually like, more than a YouTuber to promote what Taboo is, I want the community to do it. I'd love for the community to start sharing their experiences with friends and family. Anyone who I've spoken to about it can't get enough of it. They get it like 100%. I did when I first got introduced. So that would be for me a bigger priority.
100%. And it comes back to this, right? So there's a few good community members that have raised quite a few questions. And I want to try and address those in the best possible manner. One of them is the mention of, which I clearly did, the merchandise program, right? We've put that on hold for the very simple reason, because we could have launched that quite easily in March or in April. However, we've had this discussion internally for a while about revamping Taboo, giving it the brand identity that it deserves, having our brand consistent, our colors, our fonts, so on, everything, right? And if we were to launch that merchandise program, let's say 3 weeks before, we would have to almost scrap that program off completely because that merchandise wouldn't have been consistent to Taboo's new revamped look that's around the corner. So there's quite a few things that we have put on hold. Same thing with the YouTube videos. Happy to collaborate, work with the right content creators, the educators, the people that really have a voice, not just someone that comes around and Rich, you've seen that on Discord, so you're a witness to this, as you clearly mentioned, where we get proposals every day. And I think quite a big portion of the community isn't on Discord. And if you're there, you'll see there is a daily influx of proposals, offers, partnership proposals. However, after really asking them the difficult questions and the tough ones, we realize that they're not a good match for us, because either A, they're just thinking that they're going to make a quick buck from us, or B, they're just a scammer who's not sure or has researched what Taboo is. They're sending us the same generic proposal And we really don't want to work with anyone, whether it's an individual or an organization, that has not taken their time to understanding who Taboo is, what Taboo is, and where we're going.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just paying money out to someone who might have a few thousand, or even 10,000 or 15,000 followers. Uh, I like the idea of the community being rewarded, and keeping the money within our group rather than throwing out somebody on a hope and a prayer. So yeah, absolutely. You mentioned the new model there as well. So again, a great new signing, a great new listing, and plenty more of that to come. Throughout the next month or so.
Oh yes, definitely. I think with the photo shoots taking place in Tulum, and I think James will come around to announcing details for it in the following week. But that's going to be a big one that will really replenish our existing content library and elevate and accelerate us launching the new marketplace in due time with fresh content, also with never seen before content.
Brilliant. And as that gets closer to its launch date, I know Mo's saying there that it's still being worked on, and you're probably not that far away. We'd love to hear from anyone who'd potentially like to get involved in the bit of testing on that. I know I did some of that on the first round, and it's really useful. I think from an investor's point of view, for you to have a part in that is quite it's quite appreciated, and more eyes on that that we have, the better. So we'll keep announcing. We'll let you know how we're coming along with those things. But if you do have any ideas, again, I'm just seeing Daniel putting a few ideas out there on the main chat at the moment. But
I love some of Daniel's ideas. Like, they're really nice. I mean, Daniel, this is a really good idea. We could do a POAP, and I do want to do one. I think another question that was asked was about the referral program, and I really come back to that. We really want to structure our referral program in a way that we do not attract mercenaries or airdrop hunters or people who are here just to make that 5, 10, 25, or 50 or $100, but are here because there is something about Taboo that resonates with them. And we really do want to build that. I could go as so far as saying as almost this cult in a way, right? That it's really a community that stands together, that thrives together, that profits together and grows together.
Absolutely. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to keep up with the what's been said in the chat there. So okay, good. That was really the summary that I had for through the month of April, and look, it's taken half an hour to get through that. But I guess the summary is price action's been super positive. The ranking has shot up, and taken us from the 600s into the 300s. JP Morgan deal's about to be finalised and should be published next week. The billboards are about to be launched in a week's time, or the first of billboard will be launched in a week's time, and there's more to follow. Exchanges have been super hot the last month. We've seen 2 major exchanges coming on board, and there's more to come in that way as well. New model signings, and again, more to come there. That's been achieved in 4 weeks. I mean, that's I wouldn't say spectacular.
Yeah, let's not forget even the Twitter Spaces with Chloe, and there are more to come. So we have yet to announce the next guest for this month's Twitter Spaces.
Absolutely. Are you going to announce? You're going to announce it then?
Oh, I'm gonna wait for a few days and then announce it. Like, I want the 6 announcements to go out first, and then from that, I'm gonna announce the next guest on our show. And I think that's a nice Twitter space that we could actually implement, giving away POAPs to all those that attended.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, let us know. We've got a bit of a narrative for those sort of events. We've got a script in terms of some of the questions we want to ask, but it's as much your event as it is ours. So if there's anything you'd be interested in hearing, if there's something that you'd be keen to put forwards, drop it over to us. Let us know. And if we've got time, then we can take the conversations in that direction. If not that one, I'm sure we can line up other ones in the future. But we want to make them relevant. We want to make them exciting. We want them to be well attended. So yeah, yes, there's certainly some incentives that we can put out there to drive attendance. But I also think if the content's correct and if it's something you want to hear, then yeah, attendance will be high regardless of if you're being rewarded to be there or not.
100%, definitely, that's right.
Archie's asking about the supply. We've been over this quite a few times then. So yes, tokens were burnt in the early days. So the current supply is, do you know the number, Mo?
So let me try and clarify this in the easiest way possible, right? About 45% of the total token supply is set for burn. And those tokens were sent to the original mint deployer contract. Every time a transaction takes place, whether it's a buy, whether it's a sell, there is 1% that gets burned. Now, if you go to BSC scan and look at this, and you look at how many tokens have been burned, it clearly shows you that all the tokens that are in the wallet, the 45%, are set for burn. They burn in duration during every transaction that takes place, right? Which means that irrespective what happens, the team, James, myself, Nadeem, no one has any access to those tokens, which are as good as burnt. Over time, that number just keeps going down. Now, given that we still have issues with CMC updating the data, this is a misrepresentation of what our total supply is. After this call, I'm going to share a link that you can take a look at. You can look at the depreciating scale and understand how many tokens have been burnt and how often do they get burnt. So you can see every time a transaction happens, a certain amount of tokens are sent to burn. That's sent to a OXOOO wallet.
We should teach Rose. I should have written it down, and we'll get Rose to kick that one out every time the question comes up. That is something. Yeah, we've had the system. We know what's happening there, and we just need to just make sure we communicate that out. So thank you. Good explanation there. Taboo tents, high-end events, nothing planned at the moment. Again, there's a whole list of ideas in terms of what we're working towards, but it's not something that's been that I've seen that's been at the top of any list at the moment. Not to say it won't happen in the future, but plenty more exciting things happening in the meanwhile. Good. Okay. Does anybody want to jump in with anything? Speak now or hold your peace.
Well, they can always. Hey.
Taboom.
Hey, Daniel.
Taboom. I lost my voice. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
May I speak?
Please.
Well, I just want to salute you for all the hard work you're doing. I think I understand what you're saying is that those tokens have already been designated in a wallet to be burned, so they're same as gone. It's just that every time there's a transaction, they officially get removed, burned, or dissolved, or whatever you want to call it. And as the exchange data sites like CoinMarketCap understand that and get those updates, that will be reflective. And correct me if I'm wrong, but as more people buy into Taboo and purchase Taboo, that will be reflected at a higher rate. I would assume that. So that's going to really affect the way that we look at price, because right now we're looking at it as nearly 10 billion when we figure market cap and everything else. But as those numbers go down through burning, deflation, whatever, then you'll begin to see the true value of Taboo, which I think is incredibly awesome. So anyways, salutes to you all, and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Really appreciate the kind words. And yes, you are right.
Perfect. Good. Anybody else? Was that Daniel? No, that was somebody else, wasn't that? Was that J Crypto?
That
No,
was
I think that
someone
was
else.
Daniel.
No, I'm the one who's
Oh,
losing my voice. So that was someone else.
No,
all
no,
right. Sorry.
I just came on to
it
say
was J
Taboo.
Crypto. I'm
Yeah,
J
I just came
Crypto.
to say
So
Taboo
No,
Ama. That's it.
on my screen it showed me Danielle what's talking, so I guess there's a lag between
Yeah.
who's speaking
No,
and what.
I don't say anything that's smart. I'm leaving again. Bye.
Thank you, J Crypto. Thank you. Yeah, good. And like you said, yeah, as we know, yeah, with the 1% burn, yeah, over time, yeah, we all know what that's going to do for the value of the project. So good. All right. What else we got?
Hello, can I speak?
Yeah, go for it.
The Taboo Mansion party, is that still the 10,000 value of Taboo to attend, or is that changing? Because I figured by now the number would be way more than you guys could occupy in one location at a time.
Yeah. So currently, I asked the same question when we did the last AMA. It was then that I'd asked James prior to that, and he said that the next mansion event will be 10,000 US dollars, value of Taboo tokens. And the question that I had, which I'm sure what you're alluding to here, which is what happens if we end up with 200 people wanting to attend. James's take on that was that it's the best positive to have. And if we need to roll out more than one event, then that will happen. But I genuinely believe this will be the last time that you see the entry of that mansion party at that price. I cannot see how that's going to be sustainable, in years to come. So look, I think this is what what we've got there now is the price. That is, what was agreed with James. Maybe it ends up being, people are invited to a subsequent event if the attendance is way too high. I know a lot of people have been already sending me messages and excited about it, looking for dates, looking to book their travel, etc. But yeah, look, these are inclusive events. Whilst they are, there for our top holders, and there is a massive reward for people who have the confidence and the belief in this project. We want to make sure people have the opportunity to come and experience that as well. So yes, to answer your question, so I've gone around a little bit there. Currently, 10,000 US dollars is the entry.
This might be the lowest one ever. I think this might be the last one, as you said, Rich.
It can't keep going that way. It cannot. It simply cannot.
Yep, it cannot. I mean, I think in the next few weeks, Taboo itself is going to explode. So, for anyone that has that, congratulations. We will see you at the Taboo Mansion event. For those of you who are still in doubt, not financial advice, but load up, because I think this is a golden moment to do so.
Absolutely. Brilliant. It's been an amazing month. Look, I'm glad that everyone had the chance to join us today. April's been, spectacular. I've got no doubt that May is going to surpass everybody's expectations. Once again, there's lots more coming. And again, we just appreciate everyone's support, both in the community, with the AMAs, across Discord, and in every other way as well. We've got a really strong community. We've got a really strong project. And together, we've got a really strong future. So thanks to everybody.
Thank you for hosting me, Rich, and thank you for the community for tuning in. As always, we're around anytime. Ping us, and we'll be happy to respond, support, help in any which way we can. Stand united. I know there has been turbulence, but that's just normal. Scammers, as Rich, you clearly mentioned. I've had a few members, even a few friends, reach out to me by saying, "Hey, is this your profile? Why are you sending me a message from a different account?" And I realized that in the last month, there have been at least 6 attempts to try and hack my Telegram and, identity theft. So be vigilant, stay safe. I'm never going to send you a direct message. Make sure you check the handle, make sure you go into the profile, look at if we are in the common groups, and even if we are, make sure that it is the right person, because once again, nobody from the team is going to send you a direct message, and there is no migration.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy the rest of everyone's day. Take
All
care,
right,
everyone.
thank you very much.
Thanks, Mo. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Cheers. Bye.